Hi, I'm Bethany, and I'm going to show you how I process the beeswax that comes from the hives we have on our property. My husband manages the bees, and I try to make good use of the wax. I make gifts out of it. My favorite products to make are lotions. Our family is very spoiled. We have high quality skincare products. So when it comes to processing the beeswax, this is what it looks like after we strain all the honey out of it. My husband just puts cheesecloth over a bucket and smashes it before he puts it in, and then it drains. So we don't have any fancy equipment or anything, but this is what it ends up looking like. And you can see that I use the honeycomb part of the wax, and I also use the brood. When you are processing these, everything that touches the wax is going to be destroyed. So go to Goodwill, find a crock pot. I like a deep crock pot, and you'll see later it makes a nice round finished product when the wax is cool and dry and clean. But it will only ever be used for beeswax. So will this spoon and anything else that touches it. So I'm just gonna fill my crock pot full of beeswax. I don't take the time to pick out bugs or grubs or bees or anything. You want to go ahead and add water. We don't want the wax to overheat and burn and get a weird smell. The water helps clean the wax. So go ahead and cover it, and I will come back in a couple hours. I've been cooking it for a couple hours, and it's completely melted and there's just sludge on top. And I'm gonna add more. You can see I filled it all the way back up to the top, and I'll put the lid on it until it all melts again. My wax is melted. That means there's no more yellow. First thing we wanna do is get all this sludge out. So I have a very high-tech tennis racket with old window screen, and then I used office supply clips to clip it on, and my lovely assistant is going to hold that while I pour. And again, do this outside and away from anything important. And you're just going to pour it in, and it can splash, so I let it drain into a disposable baking pan because it's flexible, and you'll see once it's all dried, it's important to have a flexible container to have it in so that you can easily break the wax away from the pan. So I'll just kind of push this around until it's pretty dry, and you'll know when it gets to the point where it's not dripping any water or any wax. And then I just put this sludge into my kitchen garden beds, add some nutrients back into my garden. I will just let the water and the wax cool. Kind of looks like syrup right now, and it will take several hours to completely cool, and you want to make sure it's all the way cool by the time you work with it again. Otherwise you'll get some of the honey in the water. It won't completely separate from the wax. My wax is cooled, and I'm just going to break it apart. It's pretty neat, but I am going to heat it up one more time. So I'm going to add a couple inches of water and put it back in my crock pot. That way I can form it into a nice block, and one more heating will make sure that all of the nasty goo is out of it. I have some wax from yesterday so that I can fill my crock pot up, and I'll let that melt and add the rest of this. And again, this yummy juice will go into my kitchen garden. My wax is melted for the second time, and I'm about to strain it for the second time. I have filtered my beeswax twice now. Once through just the window screen and once through the cheesecloth. And I'm going to wipe out my crock pot. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. And I'm going to reheat all of this one more time. You have to heat it all the way back up because if you don't, it won't settle properly. So reheat it until it's boiling one more time and then turn it off and let it cool completely. Here is my 2 times filtered, 3 times heated wax. I'm going to dump out the water, and there'll be honey in it too. And the bottom's pretty gross, so I will scrape it off. I'll just do that until the whole thing is nice and clean. And isn't that beautiful? So orange. So pretty. I wanted to show you the pans. So it's just a regular baking pan, disposable baking pan. And I kept both layers together and both lids that come with this. And then for the second time that I'm gonna strain the beeswax, I put a piece of cheesecloth in my high-tech handy dandy tennis racket, and it catches more of the gunk. You can't do it the first time because it stops everything a little too much, and the wax doesn't sift through quite as well. But the neat thing about the cheesecloth is that I then turn it into fire starters for a campfire and for our wood fire pizza oven. So I'll cut it up into probably 4 pieces and use it as fire starters. I store my beeswax in big blocks like this, and when I'm ready to use it, I just warm up a knife, and you can cut it and weigh it and use it for products like lotions and chapstick and candles. And there are lots of recipes online that you can find. I have my favorites. Eventually I'll get around to sharing my favorites and link them underneath this video. So please hit like and subscribe and share the sweetness of creativity.